Welcome to another video from the farm. Today I'll show you how to build a dog kennel for under $50. Now I already made a start on this as I had a bit of a helper here earlier, and as you can see I've got some framed out panels of welded wire mesh. Now this is the simplest way possible. Make your square frame to fit the size of your wire, hammer the corners down, square it up, roll it out, chop it off, panel's almost done. So I've already gone ahead and made 3 of the sides for this kennel. This is all super easy stuff to do, and we're literally using 2 materials. We've got old scrap 4x2s that I've gathered together from our wood pile, and we're using a 2-meter long roll of welded wire mesh that is around 2mm thick wire, 1.5mm, something like that. Now depending on what materials you get will depend on what size you're building. I'm building 3.5 meters by 2 meters tall because I've got enough wire on this roll to do the sides that we needed to do, and it also gives us that height so we can have full walking height inside. If you're doing this cheap, or if you're doing it second-hand stuff yourself, you're probably not going to get wire like this, but you might get this off a building site like we did, because it's usually left over after they do a lot of concrete work, because they usually put a couple of layers of this stuff down everywhere rather than putting in 2 or 3 layers of rebar. So have 1 layer of this, 1 layer of rebar rather than 2 layers of rebar. I guess it's easier, it saves time, which saves money. But yeah, usually there's a bit left over. So we had 2-3 rolls of it, I think, off our friend. But if you don't have any welded mesh like this, you can quite easily buy some. It's not too expensive. Now to do a dog kennel like this, it's probably going to cost you around £50 or so in wire. Or you can obviously get yourself some chicken wire relatively cheap off Facebook. Lots of people are always giving that away. And the same deal with this sort of wire really, you might get a deal. So keep your eye out. The same with the wood. This wood would basically be almost just straight on the fire quality if we hadn't found a use for it in this. It's all good, strong stuff, it's just dirty, got a lot of screws in it. But even if you're buying all the materials to build this kennel, it's going to be less than £100 total cost, so still super cheap way to make a massive kennel for a dog. So let's get to it then. Let's make this last panel and we'll start clearing the area here quickly, and then we'll build this thing up. So it's pretty much square ends I'm building here. I've cut 190cm long bits. Need 2 more of these, then I'll fit 1 on either end. We'll have a nice square-ish. So firstly then, let's cut the rest of the sides for this panel. So I'm going to use this pre-cut length, 190cm, to mark this first one out. And the same again for the second one I can get out of this piece of wood. Line that up there. And now we're just screwing all 4 of these corners together to make a basic frame. Now I'm doing a door in this end, so I'm adding an extra one in the middle, and then it's time to start rolling some wire on here, pin it down. Now this is why I'd recommend using welded mesh when you're at this stage, as squaring everything up becomes nice and easy. So got my wire lined up down that end, and we just wiggle till we get this in the same position this end, like so. Roll it out and make sure we have another straight edge along a straight edge on this side, and then that means a frame square. So we'll quickly hammer these down now, all the way around the edge of this frame, and then cut this off with a grinder. So once all the frames are covered in your welded mesh like so, flip them over, then we can start putting on these metal brackets to lock everything in square and make it extra strong. Alright then, that's all the brackets on. All four sides ready to plug together. So next then, I guess if you're like me, you don't already have a level area to put your kennel, you need to create one. So we're going to move all these bags out of the way with a mini digger. Scrape all this all back, so we've got a nice big flat area to build this on. As it's just a dog kennel, you don't need to be going heavy duty with this. You can literally do it on top of the soil if you wanted to, but I would ideally be slabbing it or bricking it like we're going to do to stop your dog digging out. So right, let's crack on with this then, get this area ready, then we're on the final stage of putting this together. And easy peasy, just clip the edges together now. Because of the nature of the frame on each side, you just got it straight through, all the way along the edge. We'll pop a couple more of these in, and yeah, that's all the fixings it'll need, and it'll be rock solid. Let's fix these last two sides in then. Gosh, all sorted. It's literally that easy. And all I've done, put a couple of bricks into that corner, one into that corner, one into that corner, and we're good to go now. Fill this in some of that hogging, and then I'm going to fill on top of that with bricks, build a door, and then we can put Lady in here. So that's the bottom filled in. Now, putting a sand base down, start laying some paveway. That's all the bricks in. Done a brick along the edge as well. Just gonna sweep a little bit of sand in between the gaps, or a little bit of cement if I've got a bag still, and then yeah, we'll get on to building the aesthetics of this kennel next. I've got a bit of wood ready to go across as the roof for this. I'll make the rafters for the roof. I've got quite a few of these off an old pallet, but I think first I'm going to cut some bits of timber to run along the edge of the wire all the way around the frame, and then probably going to char it as well. And adding this lath on to frame it is already a pretty cheap way to smarten it up and make it look nice, but yeah, that little extra touch of either painting it or burning it like this should make the whole thing look that much bit nicer. Gone ahead and just roughly positioned these bits of wood as well. These are off a 3-metre pallet, so they're kind of perfect for this roof. Spacing them sort of every 80 centimetres apart or so. And yeah, just got to screw these down, and then I'll put just a few boards on top. Right, roof's on. Pretty decent in here. So the next thing I'm going to do is put a door on, and then we can begin the beautification. Do a bit more charring, as well as I think I'm going to run some bamboo sticks that we've got spare along here. Create a bit more shade inside for Lady. Alright then, door's in. Dog's in. Hello, girl. Hello. Just got a couple of these bits of edging left to do, and then yeah, she's pretty much good to go in here. Nice little day shelter for her. gosh, looking decent. Leave this, I think I'm going to leave this side because yeah, the wall's going to be up on this way, so it should be fairly wind protected. Last then, not burning. Alright then, that's the last bit done. Beautification complete. Doesn't look too shabby, does it, with the charred wood bamboo canes. So I think we'll leave this video here then, eh lady? Alright, catch us in the next one. Until next time, bye bye.